tonight's other big story, the increased fear about the impact immigration crackdowns could have in and out of the classroom as students head back to school next week. The possibility of ICE raids in and around schools sparking a lot of concern this evening.
Our Crisis in the Classroom investigative reporter Tiffany Lane, you spoke with educators here in town who say some children may not even show up for the first day of school. Joining us live near downtown Las Vegas with more. Tiffany?
Latoya and Dana, I've spoken with educators over the last few weeks. Now, they say starting at the end of last school year, they already started seeing some families pulling their kids from school, worried about the increased ICE activity we've been seeing across the country. And they're hearing the same will be happening for some of their students going into next week when school starts back up again. Now, this is worrisome for teachers who say this will have a huge impact on their students.
This isn't something you should be worried about like in first grade, but it has an effect.
Angie Joy, a first grade teacher at Mountain View Elementary School in the Northeast Valley, says her classroom started looking different towards the end of last school year. Parents pulling their children from school and letting Joy and other teachers know.
The parents, let their teachers know, like, well, we had to move because, we honestly were really worried about the different immigration issues.
She says the fear is not that ICE and federal officials will come onto campuses, but that they will detain family members going to and from school. Something that the Nevada Immigrant Coalition says did happen in the Valley at least twice back in April.
That a Chinese immigrant parent was detained while dropping off their child at school, and that child was in the car and saw the entire thing and was very upset.
Joy says she's already hearing from families that their children won't be showing up when school starts next week.
It's going to affect enrollment, of course, because the numbers are going to be down, because I know families have left. But also it's going to affect the learning. To have first graders talking about immigration, kids aren't focusing on what they need to be focusing on because they are stressed out and worried.
She says she's also worried about the students who just won't go to school at all. CCSD leaders say they're aware of the concerns.
We want to make sure that families understand that our schools are open and welcome for all students, regardless of their immigration status, and that's very important. We don't collect information on students' immigration status.
Deputy Superintendent Dr. Jesse Welsh says there is a protocol in place for principals if federal officials do show up.
First of all, there needs to be a warrant. If there's not a warrant, either way, we're going to have our school police involved. We're going to have our legal department involved before we take any action.
Educators like Joy say they will do what they can so that students can have as normal an experience as possible.
You love your kids and you're like a little classroom family, and when people are struggling or going through things, it hurts because you can't fix these things.
Now, Joy tells me not only will this have an impact on students who may not show up to the classroom, as well as those fears that the students who are showing up may feel, but if fewer students do show up, it could also impact staffing because some of the staffing is based off of how many students are. So budgeting goes more students means more money coming to each school. So, of course, there are a lot of unknowns with this, but we will be watching to see how this all plays out. For now, reporting live from near downtown Las Vegas, I'm Tiffany Lane for News 3. Latoya, Dana?
Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of unknowns. This could be a school year like any other we've seen here in the Clark County School District. Tiffany, thank you.
Well, it's not just students who will be anxious this school year. The same can also be said for some of their teachers. We went to the Clark County School District's new teacher orientation at the Rio to check the pulse of the newest educators. Teacher stress is a real thing, with studies showing nearly half of teachers go through it. It often leads to burnout and depression and an overall decline of teachers, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. One new teacher shared how he plans to deal with stress.
I think just being focused and having the patience to open the door for the opportunity to learn more things, and just having an open mind to catch and hold anything, I think that's the keys to the success.
And teachers are telling us that they are being supported by the school district through a number of ways, including updates and open communication with their superiors to ensure the process is as smooth as possible.
Not just students, it's not just teachers here either, it's parents, because they're having to go through back to school shopping, and the price of things can be a source of stress for them as well. According to a new survey from RetailMeNot.com, the leading source of back to school stress remains the cost of supplies. National Retail Federation says the average household with children in elementary through high school expected to spend close to $900 on back-to-school supplies. To manage your spending, Retail Insight expert Stephanie Carls says think about shopping in 3 layers.
First, you're going to have those day one must-haves. So things like supplies, your shoes, uniforms, the backpack. And then that second layer are those soon needs. So those are going to be tech accessories, lunch gear, maybe some of these different items that you're not going to need right away. And then that final layer are the wait for an item or wait for a sale items like jackets, hoodies, and those different extras. And so this tiered structure is going to keep you focused and helps avoid that budget panic that you could be feeling as you're getting ready for back to school.
At least we won't need jackets and hoodies for a while. There's my wife, Kim Wagner, morning anchor here. We will be talking back to school all next week, and she has a story, an all-new Price You Pay. That's coming up tomorrow night right here on News 3 Live at 6.
And our Crisis in the Classroom team wants to hear from you regarding topics like bullying, safety, staffing, and mental health. We recently posted a survey on our website to address important back-to-school issues, and your responses will be used to hold officials accountable and address your concerns. You can also send us your tips on issues impacting our schools. Just scan that QR code. It's on your screen right now. You can also email us at schooltips@news3lv.com, or you can call us at 702-805-0489.
And we're asking